Something happened to me a year ago that changed my life. Now, it's not a disease. Nobody died. I wasn't convicted. It's very simple. I got an Instagram account. And you hear this, and you're probably wondering how one social media platform could change a person's life. Now, this isn't a bash against Instagram or any other social platform that is out there. In fact, a huge part of my business is conducted through these avenues. This is a conversation about identity, who we are, and how with our heads down and our faces in our smartphone, we are unable to find our authentic path. Our ability to make life decisions from our instinct, from our intuition, have been completely compromised, and we are all more confused than ever. When I was asked to do this talk and the theme was when I grow up, all I could think about was how I used to be, how I used to make decisions, and how I used to be was the catalyst for my success. Today, I'm going to talk about the inherent mass confusion that our high-tech lives create, and the solution as to being in the present moment, and the magic that can exist if we can find a way to be in the present moment and find our authentic voice. The fact is we all come from different socioeconomical backgrounds, different living conditions, different family dynamics that are going to play a role in the answer to this question. But the disconcern for the future is not stemmed from these matters, but rather this global epidemic of social media effect. I can only speak these words because I'm a part of it. I'm just as addicted as the rest of you. In fact, I'm having a little bit of anxiety right now, so I brought my phone on stage with me. And actually, I took a picture of all of you in the background about an hour ago, and I'm kind of interested to see how many likes I got on my Instagram handle. Oh, there it is. The brilliance of technology, and there's all of you. And now, I'm kind of in a juxtaposition. I could ask all of you to get on your phones right now and go to my Instagram handle and do a like, and it would be the most likes that I ever got. But then the other part of me wants you to be here and be present and listen to what I'm saying. And I know that all of you can relate, right? Whether it's being away from your phones for this 18 minutes for this TED Talk, right? For a flight, God forbid we lose our phones, right? So me being who I am and having to understand the why behind everything, I started to do my homework and educate myself on this need, do I dare say, addiction to being online. This need for instant gratification. This need for being liked by complete strangers. So as I was doing my research, I found a video clip. It was the first like video to go viral 30 years ago. Sally Field, she won the Academy Award, and she gave her acceptance speech. The last part of her speech, she held, I don't know how many of you know this speech, but she held that Oscar high up in her hand, and her last words, "They like me. They really, really like me." 30 years later, we are obsessed with being liked. What is this saying about us as individuals? What is this saying about us as a society? Well, I did get comfort knowing that over 1/3 of the global population is a part of this social media culture. But why? Because every time we use social media, our body releases dopamine. It's this feel-good chemical. And the reward centers of our brain are a lot more stimulated when we get to express our own views as opposed to listen to other people. And 80% of social media use is talking about ourselves. It also stimulates the same part of the brain as love, orgasm, motivation. So our bodies reward us. So every time we use social media, we get that dopamine, that little hit. So we go back on. We do another post. We get another like. We feel better. Instant gratification. More. Like. Facebook. Post. Like. More. Addiction. So what challenge does this create? Well, besides 3 hours in your day going by and realizing that you've done absolutely nothing, there's days when I've been on my social media, entangled in it, I've actually created soap operas of other people's lives, right? Every time we go online, we just expose ourselves to other people's views, their ideas, their thoughts. And inevitably, we're going to start to compare, right? and gauge the success of what we're doing because of our interpretation of what everybody is allegedly doing. It's depressing. It's like watching the sports highlight reel as opposed to watching the entire game. We don't see the injury of the athlete. We don't see the bad play unless it's really bad. We don't see the mismanagement of the organization. We just see the good stuff. And our social media lives run the same parallel, right? We're literally filtering our own thoughts and our views and moving further and further away from ourselves and more towards ego. Reality is secondary to perception, right? What we perceive to believe, we believe. And this belief system, it's damaging our authentic path and where it is that we're organically going, the course that we're already on. In fact, sometimes we change what we're doing because we saw something on social media, right? There's mass confusion going on right now. Our brains, our families, our societies, even our phones are confused, right? So we're living in this space of illusion so much that we're all delusional. And how is it possible to make any life decisions moving forward in a state of delusion? Right? How do we separate ourselves? How do we separate ourselves from this mass confusion and find a space where we can authentically find our own voice and make decisions that are truly our own? It's called the moment. It's called the present moment. It's about going back to a space where we're, instead of constantly doing something, we're just simply being. It's going back into a time where we're having real conversation, engaged with real people, right? Talking about real things. It's about being authentic, not fabricated. The secret to being in the moment is to find a way to be still. We have so many distractions out there, right? Things are swirling around us. Technology is swirling around us at paces that is uncomprehendable, unfathomable to our human psyche. Our nervous systems can't take it anymore, right? It's like the ground wire in an electrical system, right? If it's not bracketed into that wall properly, right, it blows up. So we need to learn to find a way to ground ourselves, go back inwards, and relearn how to listen. We're going to do a little exploration with everybody here. So everyone, I'm going to get my big boy voice out. This is my, teaching the athlete voice. Okay, so everybody uncross your legs. I'm going to get a little bit demanding. Sit up straight. Put your phones down. All right? And close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes. And so I'm going to ask everyone just to instantly be quiet and close their eyes again. Good. And now I just want you to tune in to the sounds that you hear in this auditorium. See if you could draw your awareness to the sound of the lights. Now start to tune into the sounds that you hear around you. And now start to focus on your breath. Start to breathe in through both nostrils and out through both nostrils. And as you start to breathe, notice if your breath is airy and moist, airy or spacious, dense, moist. And now as you start to breathe deeper, start to notice what parts of your body move on the inhale and what parts of your body move on the exhale. And now everyone open your eyes. When you focused on your breath, what did you hear? Your breath. It's this little thing that we pay no attention to, although it's our passageway to life. And it holds so many secrets and resolutions. One breathing exploration that I do with my athletes all the time, because let's face it, they're out there in the middle of the court, on the ice, field, whichever, and they make a bad play. They have the entire audience, their entire fan set booing at them. Their coaches are cursing at them. Their teammates are judging them, right? The media is exploiting them. And in that same moment, they got to get it together. They got to play on. And it's through the power of their breath that they're able to do this. So one breathing exercise that I teach everybody, and hopefully you can take this with you today, is to learn how to isolate the belly and the chest breath. Because each different breathing system It basically stimulates a different neural function that balances the left and the right brain. Our left brain is our thinking, analytical brain, and it's governed by the sympathetic nervous system, and those live in your thoracic cavity, your chest wall, and are stimulated through chest breath. The right brain, our intuitive brain, is governed by the parasympathetic nervous system. Those nerves connect way at the bottom of your belly and are stimulated through belly breath. So if we're looking at screens all day, whether it's our phones, computers, TV, it means we're ingesting information all of the time. We're thinking, we're analyzing, doing, stress, doing. If we know that our intuition, right, that part of the brain that we want to tap into more often is triggered by our right brain, how do we enable ourselves to live here more often? Well, Herbert Benson wrote a book in the 1970s. It's called The Relaxation Response. And he basically details the science behind deep belly breathing and its effects on the body. I use these techniques today with everybody because what it does is it basically stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which counters, right, the stress, those fight or flight responses of the sympathetic nervous system. And what it does, when we take those deep belly breaths, we stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, what triggers what we call the vagus nerve. And this vagus nerve, a little science here, runs from the base of our brain all the way down to our belly. And when we stimulate this nerve, what happens is it releases neurotransmitters that catalyze calmness and focus. What a great return on investment. A few deep belly breaths, and we have a functional, unmedicated solution to being in the present moment. If we can remain in a state of calmness and focus, right, we get the opportunity once again to interact with humans at their most simplistic form, right? We get the opportunity just to be. Humans being human. Human beings. We're not robots. It's about practice and awareness, right? We're aware. I think everyone's a little bit aware that we have a little bit of a problem here, right? And when we're aware, we realize we need change. Practice, if we can just take these little tools and implement them into the course of our day, right? We start to create new neural patterns, which evoke different action patterns, which build habits, which lend to change. Eventually, instead of reaching for our cell phones, we'll be looking for human connectivity. And once again, we'll find the fascination in all those little nuances that run throughout the course of the day. I call it serendipity, kismet, coincidences. Right? When we meet people, we'll actually hear the words they're saying, as opposed to chatting online to whoever that's not there. When we're at events like this, we'll actually be captivated and in the moment, as opposed to taking a video and wondering where you're going to post it and how many likes you're going to get, right? When we order food at a restaurant, instead of it arriving in front of us and taking a picture and putting a filter and posting where we're at so the rest of the world can see it, we'll just eat the food while it's warm and enjoy the conversation around it. We'll be back on our path to our authentic self.
Katie, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what do you want to be, sweetheart? Will?
Doctor.
That's my little guy. A doctor, huh? Okay. What we could and should be like is most highlighted through children, right? They're always in the present moment, acting and reacting in the now. They're captivating, but captivated. They're not manipulating, fabricating, worrying about the past or the future. They're definitely not worried about how many likes they're getting, right? They define the essence of human being. And they live in this space where anything is possible and everything is magical. Our brilliance, all of ours, our excellence, our magic that lives in us, it's not going to be discovered through the latest social media feed or by how many likes we get. It's up here. It's from here, right? Delivered with our hands, work. It's about having a really clear vision of what it is that we want, and then having the ability just to exist in the present moment and let the universe unroll as it will. So I suggest when you leave here today, me included, take some time. What is it that you want? your future to look like? All components of it. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of people do you want to surround yourself with? How do you want your body to feel? What do you want your mind to think like? And then disconnect. Baby steps. Start with 5 minutes a day. And in that 5 minutes, explore with a lot of gratitude, right, the gifts that we were born. See, smell, taste, hear, touch, breathe. And once we spend some time with ourselves again, and we realize and we discover who it is that we authentically are, then we can decide who it is that we authentically want to be. My parents always said to me, we can give you two things, roots and wings. Our roots are our morals, our values, our work ethics, and our wings are what make us soar. Vision, faith, intention. So commit to simplicity. Commit to finding moments to be in the moment. And get excited about rediscovering your magic. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me.